Welcome to another special Hornbill TV explainer, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Alngoli. I come from a Naga generation, a small rural section of which grew up working hajira or daily wage work. My friends and I used to fetch firewood or pull timber from the forest on Mountie in Woka to sell. Some of you guys, you might know what I'm talking about if you are not from the Lata community. Mountie, the mountain on whose foothill Woka town has been built, used to be covered in lush forests, gigantic trees, lots of wildlife and a lot of trees, wildflowers. Now it is nothing but a big grey bald stony mountain. It has been destroyed by rampant felling of trees and hunting. It's probably one of the most visible examples of how human activity can destroy our natural wealth. Anyhow, we'd go to Mountie those days to steal animal feed, wild bamboos or logs to use or sell. We'd also dig toilets and septic tanks, ladies and gentlemen. We used to dig earth for house buildings or work at commercial construction sites, hammering away at stones and helping laborers there. That's how we grew up. It was a big deal for us those days. A day's work could earn you anywhere from 50 rupees to about 75 rupees, ladies and gentlemen. A day's work, hajira. You could buy a bag of 100 kilo rice for about 70 rupees, or tailor a pair of trousers or two shirts for about 30 to 40 rupees. I don't know how much they charge you for tailoring a pair of trousers these days, but it was about 30 to 40 rupees those days. So daily wage work was great income for youths in my generation those days. Unemployment continues to be one of Nagaland's biggest challenges in the way of progress. It's a problem that ranks among price rise, extortion, and the unresolved Naga political issue, among others. Considering the size and population of the state, you couldn't really fathom how high the percentage of unemployment in Nagaland is, ladies and gentlemen. The population of the state is approximately 22 lakh. Which is from the 2022-23 figures. Besides unemployment in the government services, it is believed that most of those employed are in the tertiary sector. For those of you wondering, the tertiary sector refers to services provided to other businesses as well as to final consumers. The tertiary sector comprises commercial activities that provide support to the primary and secondary sectors. For instance, we don't produce pork ourselves in the state. What we do is we support the pork industry and pork consumers by setting up shops to sell pork that we import from outside the state, such as Assam or Madhya Pradesh, according to the periodic labor force survey of 2022. Nagaland has the highest level of educated unemployment in the northeast. Again, the rate of unemployment is the second highest in the country. Further, the Nagaland Economic Survey of 2021-22 of the Department of Economics and Statistics records approximately 77,746 registered people who are unemployed or are seeking jobs. These are people registered in the unemployment exchanges. Now, this number could be much higher, much higher, ladies and gentlemen, because almost all of these names could be those who registered when they graduated from college, for instance. Right after graduation, I and my batch mates too registered at the employment exchange when I graduated from college. Students those days were required to register. So this could be mingling of people who now might be working or might not be working. Second, not everyone thought it was necessary to register. Again, what about people from the rural areas who had no schooling or college degrees? It's more likely that they never registered at the employment exchanges. So all these factors put together could mean there is a lot of people, beyond 70,000 people out there in Nagaland who are unemployed. It is not to say that Nagaland is a land of opportunity. Of course, we do not have any proper industry, but there are also other factors that might be affecting the number of unemployed people in the state. The industries we have right now are either semi-organized or unorganized. Only two sides to it. In fact, even something as essential as the press and the news media in Nagaland is generally unorganized. Every form of employment in Nagaland is mostly unorganized. Food and hospitality services, public transport services, local commercial networks, they are all unorganized or semi-organized. So what are the primary reasons for the high rate of unemployment in Nagaland? The first is very obvious, ladies and gentlemen, lack of employment avenues and industries. Our industries and entrepreneurial spirit is still developing. It's made even worse by the presence of a lot of Naga underground groups and community organizations who eat into the pie. The cost they exact from the local business network and communities directly affect the average common citizen's income, whose outflow is much higher than the money he makes, the income he makes. Second, as far as I'm concerned, the state of Nagaland still has no employment policy. An employment policy will ensure concentration of funding, training support, and job creation frameworks. This would lead to at least a section of unemployed persons to find employment somewhere, somehow. But right now, the trust area is primarily on providing only skills, after which, even if they're qualified, they have to find jobs outside the state rather than build the industry from within the state. So this means that there is a gap in the talent pool of the state, and once the skilled persons leave the state, it means that there is no one to look after the work that is required to be done within the state. Third reason, excessive concentration on agriculture has led to neglect of first-line industries, ladies and gentlemen. It could be education and health, building technologies or automobiles, or building heavy engineering or building medicine industries. This means our students who have degrees in arts and the humanities have no jobs when they emerge from their college buildings with their nice looking degrees. Our education is strictly academic. It is not vocational. So in order for you to find a job, you have to suffer for 10 years to get your school certificate, ladies and gentlemen. And then after suffering for 10 years, you spend at least 5 to 6 years more to get your college degree. And then, as if all that wasn't enough, you'll have to spend at least a year to get trained in a job you want to be qualified for. Because these days, unlike those days, you have to be qualified for something to be able to join a workplace that demands the skills that you have if you are qualified for it. So our education is the heart of the unemployment problem in Nagaland, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the heart of it, but it's one of the main reasons. Fourth reason, lack of skilled or semi-skilled labor in menial industries in the state. Essentially, there is no shortage of jobs in Nagaland, ladies and gentlemen. Nagaland's unemployment problem might not be a hard fact, but a cultural problem. 8 out of 10 business people are non-Nagas, no disrespect, but 8 out of 10 business people are non-Nagas. And almost everyone in the state's biggest casual industry, the roads and building construction industry, are non-locals. It's very rare for you to see a Naga person working at a construction site. So now these construction workers charge anywhere from 18,000 to 25,000 for a 3-week construction job over a gate at a house or a flight of stairs to a building. This aspect is closely linked with the influx of both legal and illegal immigrants in Nagaland, ladies and gentlemen. If we only learn the skills that our states and our industries demand, if we had gotten the skills, if we'd only do our own work, nobody would come into the state in the first place. Outsiders come here to work because there is plenty of work to do in Nagaland. That's something we need to think about. A fifth, but perhaps the biggest reason, is our dependence on government jobs and the idea of status associated with it. According to data as of March 2021, there are approximately 123,182 government employees in Nagaland, one of the biggest figures among the states that have sanctioned posts, by the way. A sixth reason is the lack of work culture among us. Nagas were traditionally agricultural people. Farming was a way of life across communities and families and social groups. Meaning, when modern education came and with it the idea of comfort, wealth and status came, the old system of a simple life disappeared. And I think you can trace it back to at least 40 to 50 years from here. So Naga families now work hard only for the sole reason that their children would have a more comfortable life, which can be achieved via formal education and attainment of comfort and a social and economic status, which they believe only government jobs can guarantee. Of course, as a parent, we don't want our children to suffer and struggle in life. Economically, we all want them to have social status. We want them to be prosperous. But the thought culture in Nagaland is one which is a little twisted, because we see success in terms of economic status and government jobs. That is where I believe most of our parents went wrong. This means our youths grow up not having either the skills or the tendency or the character to engage in manual work or any work that demands high exertion, hard work. Therefore, the values of dignity of labor, hard work, no longer is a part of our youth's character, or even if there is, it is undervalued by Naga youths. There are a lot of other reasons why unemployment in Nagaland is high. We'll be having more conversations in this regard too. Thank you for watching Hornbill TV, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Al Nguli. See you next time.